I've got a hobby horse that I ride, but I think it's freedom-based, and I think it's American-based. Let me creep up a little bit on this story, just the last couple minutes. There are 19 assessors working out of the Berks County Courthouse. There was a story in the newspaper recently that these 19 assessors were involved in aerial surveillance of properties. Now that doesn't sound too sinister. There's a lot of things that go on from the air, you know, observing pipelines and all. But one of the assessors showed up on someone's property. And who are you? I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. Right. I'm here to find out what that is that has changed in the last 4 years from the aerial reconnaissance. And this person's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? They compared the pictures. They saw something that hadn't shown up in the picture 4 years ago, which turned out to be a shed. And they came for purposes of what? Assessment, raising the property tax on the individual. And well, we went ahead and we decided we're going to take a closer look at this. Now, I'm not the black helicopter representative. I don't sense this, conspiracy around every corner. But I thought this was worth looking into. How many assessors in Berks County do you think are involved in aerial surveillance? All of them. All of them. Look, you can have your property tax or you can have your freedom, but you cannot have both of them. All right? 19 people looking at property from the air. I thought it was enough that one guy was driving by. Someone not far from me in the county had bird cages on a concrete pad. All right? Great, feed them, have fun. I prefer to let them do their own thing and don't put bird food out, which attracts other rodents. I said, we'll just kind of walk. This guy, he likes to draw them in. Great. He decided with scrap wood he was going to put a little bit of a roof, barely a carport style roof. And he thought it cost about $200. The assessor was driving by. Wait a minute, someone's improving their property in America. Someone's taking a step ahead here. Someone's building something. This is our opportunity to tax it and reassess it. Okay? What could be more contradictory to American values than someone making an improvement on their property and to be punished for it? They assessed it at $9,000, a $9,000 bird cage. Okay? Put a roof over the thing. He appealed. He got the assessment down. But he's still paying hundreds of dollars additional tax because he made an improvement on his property. We've got, as an educator, let me speak in closing. I'm an Act 48 certified teacher. What could be more antithetical to the values of education than to push people out of their homes? We had 5,500 foreclosures in Berks County over the last 4 years. That's 5,500 families moved out. We got another group of people who would like to step up from a rental housing situation into a home. And by virtue of the $200, $400, $600, $800 a month in property tax, they cannot. So here's what we've done educationally with the property tax. It is the worst funding mechanism for education. We move children from home to community to social institution to religious institution. But as an educator, we move them from classroom to school district, and they are so much less likely to graduate. They are so much less likely to be successful because we are punishing families with a property tax system that is not only antithetical to education, it is an un-American system where you cannot own your own home. You are renting, we are renting and leasing our properties from the government. Let me personalize it, and I'm done. We live in a semi-detached house right in the middle of town. There's 6 of us. You know what? We own the house, and we have some investments, and we have some money set aside. You know what? Hey, why don't I go ahead? And I looked at 2 houses. One was $289,000, had a few acres. The girls have been wanting a pony. Okay, they have rabbits and cats right now. They want to kind of graduate to the next level. And they do a fairly good job of taking care of them. And I said, oh, maybe we'll talk about a pony. But they really don't want a pony in the town that I live in with a semi-detached house. Okay, in the yard, you know, it's kind of the fly thing. And so, fine, went out and looked at the property. Talked to the real estate agent. Man, lots of foot traffic. And then I leaned over there and I said, can I see that spec sheet? What is the property tax on this? $289,000 house in Berks County. $8,800. $8,800. A second mortgage. Fine. I went to another property. It was not far from us. It was a few more acres. The asking price was $375. It would have come down substantial from that, I'm sure. And the property tax on it was $10,000. $10,000. I pay $3,000 right now in property tax, which is about $3,000 too much as far as I'm concerned. Well, what's the answer? First of all, as I close, the answer is not to immediately look at what you're going to substitute for the property tax. The answer is to look at our costs. We need school finance reform. We've got to look at the expense of government at all levels. When I was the jury commissioner of Berks County, you know what? I said, we don't need jury commissioners. In fact, I ran to eliminate the position of jury commissioner, and we have eliminated a layer of government in Berks County. Go. This person running for jury commissioner is not clapping. You may decide that you need one. That's great. God bless you. Go for it. I co-sponsored legislation to allow by a majority vote of county commissioners an elimination of jury commissioner in each county. And if there's efficacy in your office, go ahead and keep it. But we determined in Berks County there was not. We need to reduce the size, reduce the cost of government, and once we get that pot shrunk, then we go ahead and turn around and say, guess what? Here's what we're going to look at in terms of substitution. But we've got to grow this economy. Pennsylvania is growing at a rate of 3% in population according to the census figures. The rest of the nation's growing at 10%. You go into my office, you reach in my right-hand drawer, I have a Retirement Living magazine. It compares two places in the United States of America. February issue. Wilmington, Delaware, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Same age person going into retirement, same value home, same income stream. The aggregate taxes in Wilmington, Delaware are about $1,300. The aggregate taxes, all taxes, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania are over $9,000. You know what? Pennsylvania's got signs posted all around it. Do not enter or you will be punished. And that's effectively what's going on in Pennsylvania. And if we're able to eliminate the property tax and encourage people, that is entrepreneurs, business people, risk takers, homeowners to come into the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, guess what's going to rise? Our consumptive-based taxes, our sales taxes. Look at the Marcellus Shale region. I'm not going to wade into that, but one thing is absolutely true. Between 2007 and 2010, you had an 11% rise in the sales tax in Marcellus Shale counties where you had 150 more wells. In places that don't have Marcellus Shale wells, the sales tax revenue during the recessionary period went down 6%. You know what we're telling people in Pennsylvania? Take your Pennsylvania State Employee Retirement System money and go spend it in South Carolina, North Carolina. Take your annuity money and spend it somewhere else. Take your retirement money, your Social Security money, your investment money. And as all of that income exits Pennsylvania, then we see less on the consumptive tax side, less on the earned income tax side, personal income tax. We not only have to keep residents in Pennsylvania, we need to bring folks in from the outside, and we won't be nearly as concerned about the formula for the property tax replacement. Pennsylvania needs to rip those signs out and say, open for business, open for home ownership, open for the entrepreneur. And if we do that in Pennsylvania, to a large extent, we can grow ourselves out of the problem that we have. And the difference is going to be Not what I say, or Kurt says, not what Dan says. Is John Lawrence in the room? I heard he might come. I heard I was speaking.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. The difference is not going to be what these gentlemen do. It's not going to be a matter of what I do. Not exclusively. It's going to be a matter of what you do. What Annette does. And you folks in this room that get on the phone and put the pressure on and keep the heat up and say we're not satisfied with the status quo. We want a reduction in the size and the cost of government. And you know what? It's sometimes Republican phone calls. I'm going to leave this right there. It's sometimes Republican phone calls that are going to need to be made. And you know what? You hold my feet to the fire too. You know why? You pay the bills. This is your money, and that's the very reason that I gave in this newspaper article. I said, I am co-sponsoring this legislation to reduce the size of the legislature so that you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. And if you keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket, I've got a perfect confidence that that money is going to end up being spent on the right causes and the right people. It's not government's money, it's your money. And you know what? You are responsible for the direction and the quirks and the turns that your elected representatives and congressmen take. You're responsible. I want you to hold my feet to the fire. I want you to hold our feet to the fire. I admire the work that's going on here. Someone said, with all that you've got going on, Saturday morning over in Westchester, what's going on over there? We have an extraordinarily dedicated group of men and women there that care very deeply about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and they care very deeply about their government in this country, and I love what they're doing there. And if I can soak some of that up osmotically just by being around them, I am the benefactor for having been here today. So thank you very much. God bless you. God bless America.